Don't be her. Let me say that again. Don't be her. Who is her that I'm referring to? Don't be the type of mother-in-law that you had in the past or that you may have now. And let me explain this. I want to address how there are a lot of mothers who are overly involved in the marriage of their son. And I am also mainly speaking from a place of my personal experience when I was married. Let me tell you all this because I'm putting this message out unapologetically, and I'm putting this message out boldly because I know somebody is going to get help, and I know that they are going to be delivered once I really, really break down why I'm making this message. The reason you all need to hear the truth about this as a woman who is a mother and you have a daughter-in-law is because of the fact you are not sleeping with the wife of your son. You don't have to probably deal with your son's wife on a day-to-day basis. If your son's wife does not live in your home and he's living on his own with her, you have to back away as a woman and as a mother out of that situation. Now, let me just speak from a standpoint of being a parent myself. As a parent, we want the best for our children. And so we will pass our opinions on the friends that our children hang with. We will pass our opinions on the people that our children date. We will pass our opinions on certain things that our children do in their personal lives. But the truth is this: once our children get up in age and they go their own way in their own direction and they start living their life in a way that makes them happy or what they're comfortable with, as a father or as a mother, at some point you've got to let them go. You've got to release your grip. You've got to remove your hand, and you've got to stop trying to control their personal situation simply because you're the mother or you're the father. But I want to address all women now. You have a son and you are always putting your nose in your son's marriage. And I say this in love. I say it in love because we have got to change this. We've got to change this situation where women are getting married and they have the mother-in-law from hell. They have the mother-in-law who always has something to say about their son's wife. Newsflash. It does not matter what you think about your son's wife. It does not matter what you see concerning your son's wife. It does not matter how you feel concerning your son's wife. It does not matter what you did when you were a wife versus what you see your son's wife doing, and you feel justified to speak against that woman that your son was married to or is married to now, because of the fact your son, for whatever his reason was in marrying that woman, you have nothing to do with it. You cannot stop it. You cannot change your son's mind. But a lot of women who are overly involved in their son's marriage, even for some men who have already gotten divorced from that woman, a lot of women, a lot of mothers, they will continuously speak negatively and speak against that woman because they have a personal vendetta against her, or because they compare what they did as a woman and as a mother when they was that woman's age. And so you can't do that. You cannot compare as a woman and as a mother what you did differently up against your son's wife, because you're not her and she's not you. Whatever she's doing, your son chose her. Your son fell in love with her. Your son had children with her. But you know how you look if you are a mother. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I say it in love. And I say it 100% respectfully, but I'm so unapologetic about it. You come off as very bitter. You come off as very jealous. You come off as very hateful and vengeful when you come for your son's wife. even though the wife has never done anything to you. If you can honestly say as a mother that your son is married to a woman, let's put to the side your personal issues with her. You don't like how she looks. You may not like how she talks to your son. You may not like when you came to your son's house, the house was dirty. You might not like that his wife doesn't cook all the time. You may not like that you saw your grandson or your granddaughter outside and they didn't have no mittens on their hands and it was 45 or 50 degrees. Let's put all that to the side. At the end of the day, if your daughter-in-law is not coming to you and she has not disrespected you and she is not meddling in your personal life and your personal business, why are you coming for her? Why are you disrespecting her? Why are you speaking against her? The fact of the matter is this: your son, and mothers, I need you all to come up to another level. I don't care if you saved or you unsaved. God operates off truth. So let's all just operate off just plain truth. Get your emotions out of it for a minute. Get your favoritism out of it. Get your hate, get your jealousy and your comparison. Just take it out right now. And let's just operate off 100% truth under God. You having your personal feelings about a woman that has never done anything to you, what does that say about you as a woman and as a mother? Why do you wake up and you want to create beef with a woman who literally has not done anything to you? And then let's take it a step further in truth. This is another higher level of truth. You should know as a mother that if you have a son and your son is coming to you complaining about his wife, you got to know that in their household, your son is not an angel. Your son has other things going on that he's not telling you. Your son is never, you all got to understand, a person coming to you with a story about what somebody else is doing to them, please understand that it's another side to that story. And a lot of people, they will tell their side of a story to make them look like they are the victim. And they will make the other party look like they're the villain. And a lot of these situations with married couples, with mother-in-laws and even father-in-laws, but naturally, because I'm a woman and I used to be married, I'm going to come from an angle of me being a woman, okay, a 100% woman. And so all I'm saying is that when you are a mother-in-law and your son is coming talking about his wife to you and he's telling you what she's doing, or the argument that they got into, or little things going on in their household, you've got to know, if you operating in truth, that your son is not doing everything he's supposed to do. Because any man that knows how to run his household, any man that's doing his job appropriately and he's in order, his wife is going to be in order. If his wife is not in order, this is probably something that your son already knew before he put a ring on her finger. And so as a mother-in-law, you've got to understand that. You've got to sit back and say, okay, you know what? My son is coming to me complaining about his wife. He's saying she's not cooking, she's not cleaning, she doesn't want to work, or whatever the situation is. But you know what? He married her. That's who he chose. I don't have anything to do with this. I got to live my own life. But when you keep putting your nose in a situation and you're telling your son, divorce her, leave her, oh, she's not this, she's not that, you are now becoming part of the problem, and you are stirring up stuff within a union, and God is going to deal with you on that. I want to tell you all in this video message, the bottom line is this: it does not matter how you view the woman that your son chose to marry. You've got to mind your own business. You don't get involved in anything that you know really does not have anything to do with you. As a mother-in-law, you get involved in things that are serious. If you have a daughter-in-law that is abusing your grandchildren, not he said, she said, not you making an assumption, but you know for a fact, you have solid evidence that your daughter-in-law is beating, starving, or heavily neglecting your grandchildren, then that is when you speak up. But if your child comes to you and says, well, she didn't cook, as a mother-in-law, do you know the reason why she didn't cook? You don't know what arrangement or what agreement her, the wife, and your son has. That's number one. And number two, whatever issues your son goes through in his marriage, you can't fix the issues, whether he shared with you what was going on or not. And so if you are not at a level where you want to sit your son and his wife down and have a mature conversation with both of them and pray them through, then you need to back out the situation. I had a mother-in-law, and she was very messy. To this day, she is still messy. And I've been divorced, I think, for like 15 years. Because I told you all, I got married very, very young. This woman lives and thrives off he said, she said, and drama. And what is so amazing about it is that she will lie, and tell people, oh, I don't talk about her. Oh, I don't bring up her name. Oh, her and my son, they're bringing up my name. This is what she says. And even her child, her daughter and her son, will even deny. More so the daughter. They will even lie for her and say that she does not talk bad about me or talk bad about other people. But they'll be ready to rip your head off your shoulders if you say something about her. And then it becomes toxic because they, when I say they, I'm talking about my ex-mother-in-law's children, they will badmouth her. They will call her the B word. They will disrespect her if she ticks them off. And so you already know it's toxicity there, because if they're bad mouthing her when it's convenient for them, but then when they're not mad at her, they're ready to go hard and take up for her because they're no longer mad at her. You just know that overall the whole situation is messy and toxic. But I'm making this video message to let you all know, as a woman and as a mother, stay out of your child's marriage. If you were once married and your marriage did not go right, and you feel like and you believe you did everything right as a woman, as a mother, and as a wife, then you've got to leave that where it is, because you cannot compare yourself to your son's wife. Why would you want to compare yourself to your son's wife? Maybe at the time when you used to be a wife, you had different opportunities and resources than your son and his wife does. And so if you are from a completely different era and generation, it would stand to reason that you probably had a little bit more knowledge and access to certain things in your time than a woman that's a wife now in these modern end times does. And plus, back then when a lot of our parents were getting married, they were getting married very young. They were getting married in the 60s. They were getting married in the 70s. A lot of them were getting married at 12 and 14, 15, and 16 years old. Times have changed. But I'm telling you all right now, don't be her. Those of you who are viewing this video message, if you are a woman and you know your son is about to get married, or you know there's a young lady that your son is coming to you about and he's telling you, Mom, I love her. Mom, I'm feeling her. Mom, I can see myself marrying her. Don't be the mother-in-law from hell. Don't be the type of woman or the type of mother, but you always are speaking against your son's wife, because ultimately, no matter what you think and no matter what you feel, your son is choosing to marry that woman, whether you like it or not. He's not going to break his marriage off, more than likely, because of what you think and what you say about his bride-to-be, or after he has already married her. One of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life is a bitter mother-in-law. Just bitter. They have failed in life. They made a lot of mistakes raising their children or their child. They have a toxic interaction or connection with their son or with their daughter or their children overall, and they will try to step in your life and your marriage and make your marriage a living hell. Constantly speaking against you, constantly making comments about how you run your household, what you cook, how you dress your children, things that you and your husband are going through. One of the worst things a mother-in-law can tell a daughter-in-law, if that daughter-in-law comes and reaches out to her and talks about how her son cheated on her, don't, as a mother-in-law, come out and say, well, You know, if my son cheated on you, it was something you wasn't doing right. That is one of the oldest, most dumbest lines anybody can say when these type of topics and situations come up. Because somebody who is a cheater, somebody who is a liar, somebody who lives a double life, it has nothing to do with whether you're doing something right or wrong. I'm here to tell you, you can be doing everything right. You could be the good girl that's in the house all day, every day. You could be the stay-at-home mother who doesn't work. You could take care of the kids, not yell at your husband, not cuss at your husband. Keep yourself looking good, and that man will still go out and have a whole other woman and be having babies with her, or have her posted up in an apartment or a house somewhere. Men nowadays do this all the time. And this is not to bash men. This is just the truth of the matter. This is just the truth of the matter. I'm not digging deeper and going into why men do it and all of that. But all I'm saying is that you can be doing everything right, and a man will still go and lay up with another woman or deal with countless women. And so if you are this mother-in-law that feels like, oh, well, my son cheated on you, you need to just address why your son is a cheater. I notice also with a lot of mother-in-laws, mine included from the past, they never want to address their son. They never want to address how they raised their son and how they were toxic or manipulative, highly manipulative, and even abusive. But they want to whitewash it and cover it up and make it like they was this perfect mom and they did everything right and they raised their children right. Because you know what they do? They deflect a lot. If they can cover up their bad parenting, and if they can protect the son and make you look bad as the wife or as the daughter-in-law, it takes the attention off who their son is. Don't be her. For all you women, because it's very, very popular now that a lot of women are coming out talking about kingdom spouses, kingdom marriages, and a lot of people are giving prophetic words saying that there is going to be a rise in marriages. All I'm telling you all from this angle, again, 100% respectfully, is to not be the mother-in-law that you once had, or to not be the mother-in-law that you may have now. If you are a mother-in-law or a soon-to-be mother-in-law, operate in love, operate in respect. Hold your daughter-in-law and your son accountable for the downfall of their marriage or the disorder and chaos in their household, if you really feel a need to speak. And if you are a mother-in-law or a soon-to-be mother-in-law and you claim to know God, or you claim to have the Spirit of the living God in you, then you should deal with these types of matters from a spiritual standpoint. When it gets to the point that you speaking against your son's wife, you disrespecting her, you calling her out of her name, you bad-mouthing her in front of her children, you're trying to turn her children against her, you're trying to turn your son against her to make him hate her, or he's coming back home fighting her and disrespecting her and talking crazy to her on account of what you told him about her, you've got to know that God is going to deal with you. You've got to know that God is watching you. And the Spirit of God cannot possibly be in you if you are this type of mother-in-law. I hope this video message helps so many people, because we have got to stop telling people on our platforms and in life what they want to hear. We've got to start operating in truth. I'm not saying come up here and name drop. I'm not saying to shame and embarrass anybody. But you've got to operate in the truth, and you've got to do it decent and in order. And so I know sharing part of what I experienced, it will help a lot of you. That's the video message. Well, guys, it's time for me to go, because I have some other things to do. The Lord willing, I will be back with another video message. If any one of you have taken offense to anything I spoke about in this video message, it's okay, it's all right. I'm not worried about it. I am not concerned, because I know you will forgive me in the morning.